Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fox Den. Well, now, as you can see by the picture, this is gonna be a waifu one, per se. Welcome to What If Deku Was the Bismarck from Azure Lane. I am gonna be basing his story, or her story, around the Bismarck story. Not Azure Lane's Bismarck, the real Bismarck. The one that took out the hood and almost took out the Prince of Wales. That Bismarck is what I will be using. But I'll be using Azure Lane's Bismarck as a template of sorts. She will be what I based my character's looks and abilities on. She will be the one representing the character. Now then, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. We open up to where all good stories begin, in a hospital. But this hospital is not in Germany. Well, let me rephrase that. This hospital is not in Japan, but not in Britain, where my other start location normally is. This location is in, well, Germany. As, well, the mother and the father give birth to little Bismarck. Father being Otto von Bismarck, and the mother being unknown. The mother's name is not important because I don't know who the actual creator, the main project lead of the Bismarck is. I could quickly look it up, but I'm lazy. But the only one of significance is the Bismarck. Well, Otto von Bismarck is the one mostly of significance. Otto von Bismarck is a pro-hero in Germany known as strategist, grand strategist. He is known for his brutal but effective tactics. Being a pro-hero that's also part of the military. Now, Bismarck's quirk, Ironblood, was a quirk that don't really manifest in males. They have a chance to, but Otto was not one of them. Otto has the quirk, but since he's male, he can't sort of use the quirk. Ironblood is a pretty common quirk within the female military officers. Now, young Bismarck is born with, well, Ironblood. And for those outside of my little narrator character, for those of you who don't know, Ironblood is the German faction in Azure Lane. And chronologically, Bismarck is the leader of that faction. So, when I'm referring to the Ironbloods and the Ironblood, I'm referring to Bismarck herself. Now then, enough about that, shall we? Let's continue. As the story rages on... Damn it, I lost the train of thought for a second. Oh, there it goes. As the day and years go raging on, young Bismarck reaches the age of 4. Even around the age of 4, people confuse her for at least a junior high student due to how well her body has developed. Yes, I'm doing that because how Bismarck is. And because he was at college, she's going to be well endowed, just like how she looks in Azure Lane. They get taken to the Quirk doctor, and it's confirmed that Bismarck, young little Bismarck, has the Ironblood quirk. And now that since she's female, she can get access to 3 different classes. Oh, wait, 4 different classes. Destroyer, light cruiser, heavy cruiser, and battleship. And aircraft carrier. There's a lot of classes, I'll say that. The one that caught her attention the most was something that was unique to her bloodline. The super heavy battleship. I know that's not what Bismarck is classified as. Bismarck is classified as a heavy battleship. But I'm going to say the super heavy because how Bismarck is. She instantly took an interest and decided to use that as her class. So, her uniform will be her hero costume, but guns start appearing on her side. Almost like naval guns. And little ships and stuff. When her father, Otto von Bismarck, decided to look into history, he found that there was a ship classified as a super heavy named the Bismarck. And it was named after his descendant, Otto von Bismarck the First. Since Bismarck's father is Otto the Second. Now, they decide to train, and she gets really good at gliding on the water. Like an actual ship. Now, she is the age where she's in high school, in her senior year, so I'm going to say around 19. She's 19. About to get on her graduation day, where her father hands her a uniform. This uniform, to be exact. And saying that, thanks to his connections and how her high school was a military one, she was in charge of the Iron Bloods, aka the German side of the school, since this was a military school for other countries. So Sakura's stuff mostly keeps to himself, and how I'm going to do it is this, simple. And this one, the French and the British and the Germans usually go to this one school. All the others go to the one in Japan. And this happens on the final day. Bismarck gets word that she has been invited over to their sister school over in Japan. To have her go to UA. To become the first militaristic hero with Iron Blood. So, she does. She accepts the invitation and goes to visit Japan. But she takes 2 people along with her. She takes a royal. She takes 2 royals. Yeah, she takes 2 royals. The Hood and the Prince of Wales. She tells her sister that while she's gone, she's in charge. Since she has a younger sister 2 years younger than her. Now, they glide all the way to Japan. Not all the way. They glide mostly to Italy, take a plane down to Australia, and glide the rest of the way to Japan. When they get there, they witness the death of Nana Shimura. Nana Shimura dies a lot later than canon, because of how I'm doing this. Well, actually, no. How I'm doing it is, you'll see. She dies, and All Might gets depressed, but sees the ship girls. And noticing the insignia, especially Bismarck, he instantly salutes, saying, Madam Bismarck, we've been expecting you. So you must be Toshinori, also known as All Might, isn't that correct? Yes, ma'am. It's like, good. Nezu said he wanted to have a meeting with me. Right away. I'm sorry what you had to just witness, but I'm not in the right mind right now. But I'll take you to Nezu. And it's like, no need. Just tell me where to go, and you can go, and you can be dismissed. Right away, ma'am. As All Might then tells the directions to UA, Bismarck then tells Hood to go Hood, who is the compassionate one out of the three, to go take care of All Might, to make sure he's mentally sound for his hero work, seeing how he just graduated that year. Now we fast forward about 3 hours, when she's at the entrance of UA, during the time of Aizawa is in his first year. She gets there and she sees this boy with a scarf playing with a kitten, feeding the kitten and stuff as she walks in, taking care of him, and he looks dead on the inside and out. I'm just saying, like, he's not tired, but he just looks an emo, basically. I'm turning Aizawa into an emo in his early years. She goes up and basically forces him up to stand up at attention, saying, "Attention! You are at a hero school. You must act like one. Act like a role model to those who need one. Don't slack on your job." Aizawa says, "Right, ma'am. Right. I'm so sorry." It's like, "Good. Don't let me catch you again." As Bismarck goes off, as Prince of Wales runs by saying, "Sorry, she's like that." She was raised by, well, the strategist, after all. As they then reach the office, Nezu's office, as she enters, she says, I think it was the KMS? Let me get 1 second. Yeah, the KMS. Nezu simply says, "Ah! Bismarck! KMS Bismarck, Admiral and leader of the Ironblood Legion. The Ironblood Corps. What may I have grace your acquaintance?" It's like, "Nezu, drop the formalities. You're the one who invited me here, after all." "Right, ma'am. How may I... Just tell me why you asked my presence here. I'm a busy woman, you know. Taking care of my own legion, after all. For even being 19. Well, you got your hero license, right?" It's like, "Yes, I did." I was wondering, and would you like to become a teacher at UA? Yes and no. I think I'm still too young. I need to make a name for myself first. I will accept your offer in another 10 years or so, when I'm 29. However, right now, I could act like as a trainer of sorts, but not a full-fledged teacher. Now, I was originally here because he said some Sakura members wanted to challenge me and some of the royals. Yes, that is correct. The Yamato and... I'll say this because it's the newest one. Yamato and St. Louis. Yamato, St. Louis. And the Unicorn one. No, not Unicorn. Unicorn's a British. I'll let you guys decide what the final ship is, because their battle will not start, because they will be delayed due to a unfortunate action. Actually, no. Bismarck simply states that, so the last one, so the Yamato won the challenge me, huh? Interesting. But who would be the one going against Hood? As the door opens, and you see another Iron Blood. Not being Prince Eigen. As she walks up saying, Bismarck, I'm the one who will be helping the Sakura division. It's like, Prince Eigen. Eigen. I don't know how to pronounce German names, okay? Give me a break. Prince Eigen, what am I at your presence here? You should be back at home base in Germany for training. After all, you'll be graduating in 2 days. Shut up, you early graduators. Like, oh, shit, calm down. I'm doing this because I was asked to. Interesting. So, what may you help him? One of St. Louis' friends, or a friend of mine, and she asked me to help. Ironblood v. Ironblood. I'm fine with it. I approve. It'll be a good chance for you to test out your skills. And, Prince Eigen, if you manage to land a shot on me, which I highly doubt you will, I'll allow you to graduate 2 days early, aka to graduate the time you hit me. Really? Of course. I already have your hero license prepared after all. They're just waiting for your graduation. You're on. And if you want to know, I'll go into more detail about that battle in the second episode because it will be brought up. But we fast forward 10 years. Bismarck, Hood, and Prince of Wales are in their, I'll say their mid-20s. They're 25, all three. Even though I know that's not true because the Prince of Wales was built at a different date. The Hood was built at a different date. I'm just doing this for the sake of simplicity and story. They go back to UA and talk to Nezu, saying, Nezu, the three of us have accepted your deal. We'll be teaching your new generation of heroes. Bismarck. See, you really haven't made a name for yourself, taking your father's place as the #1 hero. Yeah, I wish my old man was here to see me now. Too bad he's up in the grand chessboard in the sky. Yes, unfortunately he's not around anymore. Hood and Prince of Wales, I heard your parents are the same situation. Yes, sadly, those two are also out there. So, what do you guys say? Bismarck, Hood, Wales, Prince. What do you guys say about joining UA as their new teaching staff? I'm in. The three of them say, like, yes, sir. We fast forward another year. Bismarck has taken the place of the Aizawa, basically. Aizawa is going to be the assistant teacher to Bismarck. Well, classify that Bismarck is Aizawa's assistant. Aizawa, seeing that Bismarck's a lot more disciplined and a lot more strict on the students, even stricter than he is, he just takes this opportunity to make her the head teacher and he can just sleep. So we cut to the entrance exam. The canon entrance exam. As she's in the observatory, the observing area, just watching the students. She sees Mineta try to, grope some knocked out female students. As she simply sends down Hood to go detain him. Nezu simply asks, what is wrong, Bismarck? You normally don't send Hood out for anything unless it's something serious. She simply states, do you really want a hero that can sexually assault people at any point?
staring daggers straight at Midnight, who's known for her sexual antics. And Midnight said, "Why? Why me? Why are you looking at me like that?" It's like, because you are our main problem. Heroes aren't as reserved as they used to be in my father's time. I'm here to change that. That's exactly why Nezu hired me. So you'd start fixing your attitude before I start fixing it for you. Well, that and that purple hair guy. Can you look him up? That purple ball hair guy? Kid? It's like, Nezu goes through his list saying like, Mineta, Quirk, Sticky Balls. His downside is if he takes too many of his sticky balls out, his head will start to bleed. His quirk is pretty powerful, but his attitude is what it's going to cost him. What do you mean? Look what he's doing right now. Before Hood gets there, knocks his delinquent ass out. As all the teachers look at the cam, seeing Mineta's in plain sight of the cam, stripping down a female student and groping them in all the wrong places. They feel disgusted, saying that he's more of a villain with how he acts in terms of sexual harassment. Well, not really a villain. He says he acts more like a rapist with how he acts. So they decide to, cancel him off, and as soon as Nezu gets an announcement saying, Mineta, you have been disqualified, and Hood knocks him out and throws him out of UA. AKA, she just knocks him out, picks him up, floats over the UA, and just throws him out the gate. As Mineta lands and has his barely consciousness left, he just sees Hood just saying, and don't return. As she goes back. Everyone's shocked, except for Bismarck and Prince of Wales, saying how she acted. Now, Bismarck and Prince of Wales are also teachers for 1A. Bismarck being their main teacher, Aizawa being a sub, even though Bismarck, Hood, and Prince of Wales are 3 mains. Since the 3 of them refuse to be apart from each other. Because they developed a really close friendship. Ironically, if you think about the actual battle between Hood, Prince of Wales, and actual Bismarck. I did that for the sake of irony. As that happens, then she spots someone with explosions, and seems to have torpedoes above her. I'm not doing that, actually. No, fuck that. I'll bring in some other ship girls into 1B, but not 1A. She simply states, "What's that blonde kid's name?" "That blonde boy's name." "You mean Bakugo Katsuki?" "Yes, him." "What's his quirk?" "Explosions. He sweats a nitroglycerin-like substance that he then can ignite with his hand shooting sparks." She's going to say it's interesting. So he is basically a combination quirk between a type of electric quirk and a type of hydrogen quirk. A type of gas quirk and a type of electric quirk. Making explosions. Interesting. Using a chemical structure as the basis of his, quirk. Nezu, I know you're about to tell me his downside. Don't. I'm gonna guess. His downside is if he uses it too much, his arms will start hurting and eventually break if he overuses it. Is that correct? Nezu simply just nods the same thing. Yes, that is exactly correct. However, he can train his body to withstand more and more power of his quirk. Bismarck simply nods, saying like, I expected that. Because it would be basically useless if he couldn't improve his explosions. George, Prince of Wales. Yes, ma'am. Getting in contact with the commander, and have her, making the Azure Lane commander. be a female in this, so I don't no harem for you. Bismarck simply states, "Command can you please go get contact with the commander and ask him to make a certain item for this kid? I'll send you the schematics before you get there. I'll send you the schematics by the end of the day. Right away, ma'am." "Thank you, Prince of Wales. You're dismissed." As the entrance exam ends and she has a bunch of eyes on the best students in her eyes, being Bakugo Katsuki, Shoto Todoroki, Ida Tenya, and Uraraka Ochako. She sees Momo as more of a girl she needs the help. So she's having Hood take care of her. Everything like that. Because how they structured the class, while Bismarck might be teaching a lot of the main stuff and hero stuff, the three girls help people that need the most attention. The Prince of Wales taking people who lack confidence, being like Momo. Hood taking care of people who have mixed feelings about things, who don't feel like they belong, feeling self-conscious basically, not having a lack of confidence and not having an inferiority complex, but having people that need a hand, like Todoroki. Bismarck will keep delinquents in line, like Denki, Kirishima, Mina, Bakugo. She's about keeping them in line, while Aizawa generally keeps everyone in line, except for the three ship girls. As a week goes by and the first day of school happens, she gets into class first, and she just pulls out her custom-made German throne for her, activates her quirk and sets them down. She has a really lewd dress on to make a really good dress on to make a first impression on her new class. As she's currently hidden, because she has a black veil over where the teacher area is, at least the ship girls. Because today is her class. So right now, she's going to judge their power and skill. As everyone gets into class and they're wondering what's beyond that curtain, because when Denki, getting curious, tries to open it, he got a cannon was in front of his face. One of Bismarck's main cannons. I think it was the... Let me look. It was it was the main 15-inch cannon. That's what was in front of Denki's face, the main 15-inch cannon. As everything goes on, room goes black and they see a symbol appear. Bismarck's mark. Emblem. Her badge. Everyone notices and is like, oh my. Is this who we think it is? Is this the Lady of Destruction Bismarck? The hero of the seas Bismarck? As all this happens, and, well, Bismarck comes out in her casual dress, or her, what she calls, formal military gown. Sitting like this, casually with wine next to her. And some roses, and she says, "I will throw this bouquet, and whoever catches it will receive special training. Special training by me." As she throws it, and the one who catches it is, unluckily enough, Denki. Denki realized, thinking in his dirty mind, saying special training is probably means I get to fuck her. Or stuff like that. But that was just Denki thinking. As they say, like, enough of that now. Now, I suggest you three, you guys, you all, go down to the changing area, go to your lockers, open up, and change into the gym uniforms provided. Now, the one taking place of, well, good old balls. Ah, damn it. Mineta. The one who's raising good old Mineta is the unicorn. A royal. A royal is taking the place of it. As she's getting personally taught by Hood. The HMS Unicorn is getting taught by the Hood. As they go on, everyone gets outside, and she says before she leaves the room, of course, saying, I want you guys all to meet me down in ground beta. If any of you are late, I will have you do a 100 kilometer dash around the school 5 times. Like, I will have you run around the school 5 times. And I will have you also start from the roof of the school, from one side of the building to the other, then around the school 5 times. If you're late, you have 5 minutes. You have 10 minutes as soon as you leave this room. If you get there in 10 minutes, you're late. You have to get there in 9 minutes and no less. If you're there 10 minutes, you're late. If you get there any later than 10 minutes, you're unacceptable and you will receive a fittable punishment. After all, early is on time is late, and late is unacceptable. Now move out, peasant. No, wait, not peasants. Now move out, maggots. As Bismarck sits up from her throne as it disappears, and her guns retract into her body, as Hood and Prince do the same and go outside. By everyone gets there 2 minutes. 2 minutes before the specified time she said that it would be good. She said, like, I respect you guys for coming here early. Except for someone. The someone being Kaminari, the Pikachu. She looks at Pikachu, the Denki Kaminari, and says, You, Mr. Kaminari. Yes, ma'am. It's like, you're late. You know what this means. I want you to run around your 10 minutes on the 10-minute mark, which means you're late. I'm not going to give you the punishment of running around the entire school from inside and out. However, I will do this. Drop and give me 200. If you don't finish 200 push-ups by the end of everyone's testing, you will have to run around the entire school as well. Got that? Yes, ma'am. Good. As Zane goes on, Kaminari's last one there, as he's just dead. He can't move. Bismarck goes up to him and says, Get up. You still have to finish your part of the testing. That's why I haven't left yet. Kaminari, using the last strength he can, uses 1.3 million and does his throw, going dumb mode, and she sees this and says, and Bismarck thinks, I wonder if the commander can make an item for him. As she quickly calls up Hood, who's currently teaching the unicorn, and she says, Hood, I have another request for you about another support item. Something for Denki Kaminari. It seems that once he passes a certain limit of his quirk, right now it seems to be 1.3 million, he seems to short-circuit his brain and go completely brain dead. Saying only one word. Yoy. Yoy. Yay. So, I would ask you if you can ask the commander to make a support item for him to either store his energy up so he can passively charge some sort of device on him, to unleash his 1.3 million volts without using his quirk? Like a railgun? Or doing it like a... How do I say? Damn, how do I say it? Like a battery that he can harness his power from. Right away, ma'am. After I finish my lesson with Unicorn. That's fine. Kaminari, you're allowed to go home now. Do you need a ride by chance, since I can tell you can barely stand? Yes, I do. It's like, here, get on. As she leans down to have Kaminari go on her shoulders. And you better not look down, otherwise I will throw you off. Right away, ma'am. As she speeds off. She gets to Kaminari's house and says, this is your house, correct? Yes, it is, ma'am. It's like, good. I would like to meet your parents while I'm here. Right. It's like, after all, I gotta tell them about some good news. What do you mean? It's like, nothing you need to worry about. It's something adults need to talk about. As Kaminari goes inside and tells his mother, saying, Mom, my teacher wants to talk to you. What'd you do? It's like, nothing. Apparently, she said it's something good, actually. Good news, actually. Okay. She exits outside and sees Bismarck and like, oh my god, you're the Bismarck, the Lady of the Sea. It's like, in the flesh. So, how may I help you? How may I help you, Miss Bismarck? Bismarck replies with, well, it's about your son. You said something good, right? It's like, yes. I know his downside of his quirk being short circuit. If he uses too much of his electricity, his brain fries and becomes smooth brain. Becomes brain dead to an extent. Is that correct? Yes, it is. I'm having my commander research about something that can help him. I was going to tell you that you don't need to pay for this. We'll make it ourselves. After all, you know me, and you know how I treat my members of my crew. Treat the members of the Ironblood and Royal like they're my own family. So trust me, when your son is in our hands, I assure you he'll be safe. I give you the Bismarck seal of approval, as she hands Denki's mom the Bismarck sign, the Bismarck's emblem. Bismarck's emblem, as she says, well then, Miss Kaminari, it was nice meeting you. Same to you, Miss Bismarck. Please, just call me Bismarck. I don't have a last name, really, since my first name and last name are Bismarck. Bismarck von Bismarck is my full name. So then, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. As she goes off, and that's where I'm going to end today's episode. Now, this is a weird one in retrospect, but I hope you guys enjoy it nevertheless. If you guys want a part 2 down below, tell me down below, and yeah, I might give up on the Girls Who Panzer one. That's really too complicated to write. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, Fox Den.